Hello everyone. Today we are going to see analysis of variance in this session. So basically the session is going to be about ANOVA. ANOVA is abbreviation of analysis of variance. So in this method we are going to analyze the variance of multiple samples. Basically in the previous sessions we have seen we have compared means of samples, but here you can uh, compare the variances. You're going to test for the variance in the data. Okay, now the basic principle of ANOVA is to test the difference among the means of population. If there are multiple populations, you see the differences, and you also check for the variation between the samples and within the samples. Okay, so you are going to test for the differences in the means and also examine the variation within each of these samples relative to the variation between the samples. So you're going to see variation within the samples and variation with respect to various samples. Okay, now for ANOVA we use F distribution curve, and F distribution table is used to find the critical values here to compare with the calculated values. So this curve, similar to the chi-square curve, is skewed towards right, and we also use set of degrees of freedoms. Here we have 2 degrees of freedom. One is for the row because we have multiple observations, and other one is for the columns because we have multiple samples to check the variances. Next, the F test is greater than or equal to 0. Similar to the chi-square test, F test is also greater than or equal to 0, and that is the reason we don't have negative values. We always tend to use uh, right skewed curve and mark the values towards the right hand side. Then degrees of freedom for the numerator and for denominator get larger. The curve approximates to the normal distribution curve. Okay, as the degrees of freedom of the numerator and the denominator, that is the number of rows and number of columns, as they increase, the curve tends to follow the properties of a normal distribution curve. Okay, chi-square also similarly, as we have seen in the previous sessions, will approximate to normal distribution curve as and when the degrees of freedom increase. Similar is the case here. Now let us see an example for ANOVA, analysis of variance. Here, look at this question. Set up an analysis of variance table for the following per acre production data for 3 varieties of wheat. Okay, each grown on 4 plots, and state if variety differences are significant. Okay, so now we have 4 plots of land, then we have 3 varieties of wheat. Okay, this is one sample, this is one sample, and this is one sample of wheat. Okay, they're asking us to state if there is any difference in the varieties of this wheat. Okay, so now this variety, this set, on one plot we have 3 varieties, on second plot we have 3 varieties, third plot 3 varieties, fourth plot 3 varieties, and this is the production data. In the first plot for variety A, 6 acres of plot was used, area was used to grow the wheat. Okay, so based on this information, we have to state if there are any significant difference in the varieties or not. Okay, in the production of the varieties or not. Okay, now before starting the procedure for hypothesis testing, let us first find out the statistic value. Let us calculate the statistic value because it is a bit tedious. Once we finish calculating the F statistic value, then we will go to the procedure, because you know already there are 5 steps in procedure of hypothesis testing. So calculating statistic in this case is a bit tedious. So let us understand test statistic calculation, then we'll go to the procedure. Now, as notes for analysis of variance has one-way ANOVA has been given to you. Now this specific problem is one-way ANOVA because we are testing variance for one variable here. See, we are only testing for plot of land. Okay, only one variable is taken for the test. Now if you want to see two-way ANOVA, then you maybe here only a plot of land is given as a attribute to you, then maybe variety of fertilizers would be given, a variety of seeds would also be given, and you might want to find out the significance based on these two attributes. Okay, so that is how two-way ANOVA works. Don't worry, we will see an example with respect to two-way ANOVA as well in the next session, but for now let us focus here. So as the notes has been already provided to you, we will solve this problem based on a proforma. So proforma is given here. So source of variation, okay, between the samples, within the samples, sum of squares will have has to be calculated first. Then we will find out the degrees of freedom. Then we will find the mean square. Then we will finally calculate the F statistic or the F ratio. Now first we have to calculate the sum of squares for between the samples. Okay, so between the samples, now according to the question we have 3 varieties of wheat. Okay, so now initially let us calculate the mean value. So I'm naming this as x bar 1. So mean 6 plus 7 plus 3 plus 8 by 4. This is going to be 6 plus 7 plus 3 plus 8 by 4 is going to be is 6. Then you have 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 7. 5 plus 5 is 10, 3 plus 7 is 10, 10 plus 10, 20. 20 by 4 is equals to 5. 20 by 4 is 5. Then 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. 16 by 4. 16 by 4 is equals to 4. So this mean is equals to 4. So we have found the mean values for each sample. Okay. Now let us find the mean of means. So x double bar is equals to 6 plus 5 plus 4 by 3. Okay. So 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 5 is 15 by 3, which is equals to 5. So the mean of means is 5. So now we have mean of first sample, mean of second sample, mean of third sample, and mean of all these means. Okay. So this step is done. Now the next step is to find the sum of squares between the samples. So sum of squares. So this is going to be between the samples. Okay. So how do we calculate is summation ni xi minus xi bar minus x double bar whole square. Okay. So now I is equals to 1 to the 1 to k. K is nothing but the number of columns you have or the number of samples you have. Now here n1 we have 3 samples. Now n1 x1 bar minus x double bar whole square plus n2 x2 bar minus x double bar whole square plus n3 x3 bar minus x double bar whole square. So this is how you expand. After expanding, now the n1 is sample size of the first sample. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now don't be in a dilemma that the sample sizes will be same. Sample size will differ. Now here, for example, maybe in another problem you might have three items here, you might have 10 items here or 24 items. It depends on the sample people are considering. So now n1 is 4. So this is 6 minus x double bar is 5 whole square plus n2 is again 4. x2 bar is 5 minus 5 whole square plus n3 is 4. This is 4 minus 5 whole square. This is 4 into 6 minus 5 is 1 whole square plus this is 4 plus 0, this is 4. So this is 8. Sum of squares is equals to, between the sample is 8. Now what did we do here is, we have just calculated the sum of squares between the samples. Okay, now this one with this one, we have compared the mean of the sample with the mean of means, mean of second sample with the mean of means, mean of third sample with the mean of means. Okay, so that squares we have taken. Okay, so that is between the samples, this value is 8. Now sum of squares within the sample. Within the sample, now we have to calculate, we have to consider each and every element and take the sum of squares. Now the formula is summation x1I minus x bar 1 whole square plus summation x2I minus x2 bar whole square plus summation x3I minus x3 bar whole square. Okay, now why have I taken only 3 sets here? Because I have 3 samples. Okay, now if you have multiple samples, you can take multiple samples. If you have 5, then you will have 5 elements here. Now what am I doing is x11, so this element minus the mean whole square, this element minus the mean whole square, this element minus, so we have to find the sum of squares for each and every element in the column with respect to the column mean. Okay, we are doing it with respect to the column mean. Alright, now let us find out for the first one. This is 6 minus 6, 0 square, 0. 7 minus 6 is 1 square, which is 1, plus 3 minus 6 is minus 3 whole square, so minus 3 whole square is 9, plus 8 minus 6 is 2 whole square, 2 whole square is 4. So first set is done. Now second one, x2I minus x2 bar whole square. So x2I is this column minus x2 bar is 5, this mean, second sample mean. So 5 minus 5 whole square is 0, 5 minus 5 whole square is 0, 3 minus 5 whole square, 3 minus 5 is minus 2 whole square, minus 2 into minus 2 is plus 4, plus 7 minus 5 whole square is 2 square, 2 square is 4, plus, now the third one, 5 minus 4 whole square is 1, 1 square is 1, 4 minus 4 is 0, plus 3 minus 4 whole square is minus 1 whole square, which is equals to 1, plus 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, now just add all these things. So you have 14 plus 8 plus 2, which is equals to 24. Okay, so far what have we done? We have calculated sum of squares between sample and sum of squares within sample. Now we have to calculate, so here within sample is equals to 24, we have received this. Now total variance 8 plus 24 is equals to 32. Okay, you can verify this value also. How will you verify? The formula is here, sum of squares for total variance is equals to summation xij minus x double bar whole square. So you have to subtract each and every element with the mean of the means. So 6 minus 5 whole square plus 7 minus 5 whole square, 3 minus 5 whole square plus 8 minus 5 whole square plus 5 minus 5. So with all these things you have to compare the mean of means, you will get 32. So calculate and see, you should get 32. Then the next step, so we have calculated, so far we have calculated the sum of squares between the samples, sum of squares within the samples, and we have seen the total sum of squares. Now we have to find out the degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom for between samples will be uh, n minus 1. Okay, n is what? N is the number of columns here. So sorry, this is sorry, we have represented columns with k minus 1. So k are number of columns. We have 1 2 3 columns, so 3 minus 1 is equals to 2. Then the degrees of freedom for within samples. So for within samples, the formula is n minus k. N minus k. How many observations n do we have? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. 12 minus 1 2 3. 12 minus 3 is equals to 9. Okay, so these are degrees of freedom. Total degrees of freedom are 2 plus 9 11. Now the mean square, how will we calculate the mean square? Is sum of squares between the sample, this value by the degrees of freedom. So this is 8 by 2, which is equals to 4, and here it is 24 by 9, which is equals to 24 by 9. So this is equals to 2.66. 2.66. Okay, now the F ratio is equals to this by this. So F ratio is mean square between by mean square within. Okay, so which is equals to 4 by 2.66, which is equals to 4 by 2.66, which is equals to 1.50. Okay, this is equals to 1.50. Alright, so now we have calculated the FCAL value, which is 1.50. So we have to find out the F critical value or the tabulated value at 2,9 degrees of freedom. Okay, now let me show you how to find the critical value. So here if you see the critical values of F distribution at 5%. So in the question they haven't mentioned if it is the level of significance excuse me, if it is at 5% or 1%. So let us assume it is 5%. So at 5%, we have to check degrees of freedom for the samples between is 2 and for within it is 9. So 2 comma 9 is 4.26, this value 4.26. So F critical value is 4.26. This is equals to 4.26. Alright, so now we have calculated the F stat, the test statistic value, and we also have found the critical value. Okay, now let us get into the procedure of testing of hypothesis. Now step 1 is to write the null hypothesis, to frame the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. In the question they asked if there exists any difference in the variety of the wheat. Okay, so my null hypothesis is there is no significant difference. Okay, there is no significant difference in the variety of wheat across the plots. Okay, now H1 will be there is a significant difference. Okay, so we have framed null hypothesis, we have framed alternative hypothesis, and we don't have to find the we don't have to write the type of test here, because it is right tail test. It is right, the curve is skewed towards the right, hence it is a right tail test. So you don't have to further decide on the type of test here. In the case of chi-square also, there is no need to find out what type of test it is. Chi-square as well as F-test is going to be a right tail test. Now that is the first step. Second step is the level of significance. Alpha, we have assumed it to be 0.05. Then the third step is to calculate the F statistic. We have already calculated the F cal value, which is equals to 1.50. Then the fourth step, based on the level of significance and the curve, we have to find out the tabulated values and degrees of freedom. We have to find the F critical value or the table value. That also we have found, and it came up to be 4.26. Now last step is to make a judgment on the hypothesis. Okay. Now if we draw the curve, F test is also rightly skewed towards the right. Okay, this is how the graph looks. Now this is my level of significance. So this is critical region 0.05. Okay, and this is acceptance region, this is rejection region. Now this point is 4.26. Now the calculated value is 1.50. So where will it fall? It will fall in the acceptance region 1.50. Okay. Okay. So this is the acceptance region. Okay. Hence, so the calculated value is falling in the acceptance region. Hence, we accept the null hypothesis. Therefore, we conclude that there is no significant difference. There is no significant difference in the variety of wheat across the plots. So, we accept null hypothesis H0. Okay, this is how we give a judgment using the one-way ANOVA and F test. So ANOVA uses F test, so it is going to be one and the same. For two-way ANOVA also we are going to use F test. So the number of attributes there are going to be more. Nonetheless, the procedure is same. If there are any questions, please post in the group. Thank you.